Hello everyone, my name is Chipcow, as you see here, and my real name is Ricardo Neves. I am from Portugal and I am 27 years old. I made some projects here on education ecosystem and you can see them here. But now let's see the new project that I just created and I want to show you how I did it. So let's see. The project is named How to Build a Product Feature Comparison System Project using Django. So, okay, that might seem a little bit extensive, but what it means is that we are going to make a web application that supports comparing different products features. For example, in this project we made a comparison site using Django and for comparing smartphones. You can see, like, if you go to this website, it does something that we want to do. So phone arena. Compare. So they have, I think this is what we want. No, it's not. Smartphone comparison. I think it was from Phone Arena, but I'm not sure. GSM Arena, sorry. And now here we have something that where we can look like for a smartphone, like iPhone SE, and I want to compare it with, I don't know, Nokia or Xiaomi Pocophone F1. And here I get everything that I need, every characteristics of each phone, every feature, and it will help me to make a more informed choice when buying a smartphone. So we will build something that is similar to this. I wouldn't say it is as complete as this site is, because this is a real site that takes a long time to develop, but I will teach you the basis for building something like this. Yeah, so that's it. So we are using Django. So for you that don't know Django, they say that Django makes it easier to build better web applications more quickly and with less code. So what is important to note here is that Django uses Python and it is a high-level web framework. So this means that with high level, it means that it has lots of features and functionality built in. So you don't need to build everything from beginning. So for example, they are reassuring that it is secure. So you can use their implementation of security and you don't need to implement by yourself, which is completely wrong in case of security. So yeah, so another thing that it's very good on Django and that I really like, apart from being a Python based framework, is that you can have several modules that you can import and you can just use them. They are pre-built with some kind of feature, so you can use them as you wish. It's something like Spring Boot, where you import some starter, or you import a package on NPM for Node.js. There's something like that, but here in Django it is also possible to do that, which I really appreciate. Okay, so let's go and see the sessions and everything that we will do. Let me refresh the page. Okay, so what do you need to know? You don't need to know much for this. We are using Django We are using Python. And after that, we will just use jQuery, Bootstrap for frontend, HTML5, CSS3. Nothing much going on here. I don't want to focus on frontend because that's not my place. But yeah, we'll use those technologies. Those are not like recent or breakthrough stuff, but it will get the job done for what we want. And then for the backend, we'll use Django, as I said, Python, and SQL3. When you see SQL SQLite 3, you don't need to know almost anything about SQL. Why? Because Django has a module that interacts directly with SQL, and you don't need to write any SQL code in this tutorial, of course. If you want to use more complex stuff, yeah, you might need to write it, but right now you don't need. So don't worry about SQL. Those are the requirements. And then we are on session 1. So we'll make a quick introduction, or we made a quick introduction to Django framework and the requirements, how this is going to be developed. And in the end, you should have your environment set up. You should have Python, Django, and installed, and a sample hello world from Django. After you have that, we will configure something called Django Admin, and we will create models. So with Django Admin, it's a module, we can say, for Django that will help you. It will work as a back office for your website. Let me search it a bit so you can see what it is. But it will create a back office for your website, and in our case, it will be protected with credentials, and basically the manager of our site, of our smartphone comparator, will be able to create smartphones from scratch and create all that information, upload pictures so you can see them on the normal website per se. One of the most powerful parts of Django is the automatic admin interface. So yeah, this is completely out of the box. You just need to configure your models and it will work like that. So we'll take a look at that and create the models. Like, it will be a model, it will be a smartphone model that will contain several more models. But yeah, let's go to that in session 2. Session 3. So there are two ways of developing the front end. There are two major ways. You can have controllers for everything, and you can use the Django Mustache template engine to generate everything. But I think that I don't like when I see something like this. When you search and the entire page refreshes. I don't like this, to be honest. And our website won't be beautiful, but I don't like this. So my idea was, okay, let's use Django, but let's build RESTful API, and we will use for that the Django REST framework. And what we will do is that RESTful API will expose our smartphones, and we can access, get a list of every smartphone, or get a singular smartphone, lookup by ID. When you do that, we can make an AJAX call and do everything asynchronously on the front end using AJAX and AJAX requests with JQuery. And with that, we can make the action of getting another smartphone, like this action. Let me search for Candy. This action to be a lot more smooth. We can just refresh this frame, this div or this part of the website instead of everything. And when we have that ready, okay, this will just build the RESTful API. After we have the RESTful API done, we can develop front-end using HTML5, Bootstrap, CSS3, jQuery, and JavaScript. Yeah, because we have jQuery. That's basically it. In the end, we'll have a final product. It won't be complete. It won't be production ready, but that's not the point in this tutorial. That's the point, is to create I wouldn't say a production ready, like I said, but something that works, and something that if you want to build another or some product that is similar to this, you have the basis to do that. You have the base knowledge to do that. So let's go. Let's start building this. So, okay. First of all, let's create a folder. It will be edu smartphone comparator. Let's go there. And now what we'll need to do is that check if you have Python installed. Python version. And I recommend to have Python 3 installed. If you have 2.7, I'm not sure if it will work with most recent version of Django. Please install Python 3. In this case, I have 3.6.1, but install Python 3. So you can use pip to install Python. And it's really simple to install Python. If you are on Mac like me, you can use Brew. If you are on Windows, you can just download the executable. You just need to install it. It's not that difficult, and if you are a software developer, you will know how to install it. If you are on Linux, you are lucky, because it will ship. Almost every Linux distribution will ship with Python. So after having Python installed, you need to check if you have Django. So you can do something like this, and it probably will say this: no module named Django. So what we need to do, you need just to run this command. As simple as that. If you are on Linux or Mac OS, if you are on Windows, you can run this as well. I highly recommend the tutorials that Django project website has, and the documentation as well. So you just run this. If you want to install in Python 3, just add 3 here and go ahead and install it. After that, I've already have it, so I won't install it, but you should have something like this. It will say, okay, your Django version is 3.05, or another one if you are in another if a new version is released. Okay, so now we want to create the project, right? And if you see, we don't have anything here, so let's create the project. So you can use a command called Django Admin. Okay, I've already have a autocomplete here, but Django Admin start project, And after that, you will give a name to your project. We can give a name like smartphone comparator. You'll see that this is an invalid name because it cannot have a dash. So smartphone comparator. Let's type like this. Okay, it just created the project for you. You can see we have a smartphone comparator folder, and now you have a manage.py and another folder with same name. And if you go there, you have urls.py, settings.py, and another .py files. Okay. So, first of all, again, you should check the documentation, and I have no problems in showing it. So it will make it easy to explain it to you. And okay, so we just created the project, right? And you can see that we have a manage.py. And as you can see here, it is a command line utility that lets you interact with Django project in various ways. You'll see how we can use this manage.py. Those files are really not important. The settings file is important. It just lets you adjust the settings of your project. The URLs file is like to create your routes. Let's see what we have in our URLs file. So you can see that it already has an admin path. So in the URL file, you can basically create routes that might route you to another app, and that's how I want to get there, but it can route you to another place. It can redirect your request to another place. So I mentioned another app. So those are just web servers files that we won't use, but the most important now files that we want to explore is settings.py and urls.py, and those names are really explicit and just tell you what they are. So let's now do Python. We should create a virtual environment for this, because it's always a good practice to have like a virtual environment. So here, virtual environment. So this command, so you might need to install this as well. So it's with PIP as well. So you can do this simply as that. And that's really important what this does, and it's important for you to understand. So when you install packages on Python, like we did, like when we did this Python 3, like the command to install Django, it installed Django globally on your machine. So wherever you are, you will have Django installed. Imagine that you want to use a version of Django 2.0 and you have 3.6 installed. What can you do? You need to like remove the 3.6 and install 2.0 and use the project for the 2.0, and then you need again 3.6, you need to install it again. So that's a pain in the ass. Don't just, if you think that you are going to use different versions, just create a virtual environment. So for Django, we just install Django globally, but all our dependencies will use a virtual environment. And this allows that when you are inside your project and you activate your virtual environment, you have only the dependencies that you installed for that project. So let's go back. Okay, so virtual environment, and this is the name of your virtual environment, venv. So, okay, it is creating a new environment, and let's wait a bit, okay? And you have a new folder. Okay, that's a lot of stuff, but you have lots of stuff, and it just doesn't matter for us. What matters is that we need to activate our virtual environment. So source virtual environment /bin/activate, and it's done. Every time you need to close the terminal and open it again, you need to activate the virtual environment again with this command. If you forget, nothing wrong will happen. Probably you won't have all dependencies that you need, and it will throw an error, and you will remember, oh, virtual environment, I need to activate it. Okay, now we have our virtual environment installed. Let us see if you have Django. We don't. Okay, because we are in a new environment and we don't have Django installed. So I'll just go ahead and install Django for you. So I have a link for here to how to install Django. It's right here. So you can just go with me, and I'll just run this and I'll install Django. You actually can create the virtual environment first and then install Django and then create the project. You can do that as well. But now we are installing Django. So now if you go this, oh, we have Django. Awesome. Okay, so we have Django installed on our virtual environment, and we have a project. So you can run the project. Let's see the Python version that we have. 3.6. Okay. So I can run this with Python manage. Wait, I'm in the wrong folder. And now Python manage.py run server. Okay. We need to first migrate this, and you might see I was not expecting that. And it should have run, but okay, the port is already in use. Of course, I had already something running on this port, but it says that this, and we will catch this later, but let's just ignore this, and for now, and just we'll deal with the database after that. So let's see what we have here. The install worked successfully. Congratulations. You are seeing this page because the bug is true in your settings file and you have not configured any URLs. Fair enough. So if you see this, you know that Django is working. If you are having trouble getting your Django running, remember that you have, you can check this URL and it will guide you on what you should do. If you have any questions about this, just post a comment on the video, and I'll try to help you as much as I can, so you can have everything running on your local machine. What we can do now is that, okay, we have our project running and we have a web page, but we haven't done that much. So let's go ahead, and as I said, Django is made out of apps. You can have a Django project called smartphone comparator, and inside that project have like some create apps that you want. So that's a way of making your project modular. So imagine that we want to create like an app inside this. Actually, that's what we want to do, to create an app to make like an app called comparator, which will comparate everything. But imagine that we want to write another feature, like it's, okay, the project should be like, imagine that the name or the scope of this project was like smartphones. And then you can have like an app called comparator. You can have an app called reviews, an app called, I don't know, break tests, and you can have 3 apps inside one project, and that makes your project modular. If you want to create another project and just use the app that you've just created, you can just port that app to the other project with no effort at all and reuse your code. And that's why they say they are a fast development framework, because of this modularity. So why don't we go ahead and in this case they are creating a polls. We can create another app called comparator. So as you see, it's Python manage.py start app comparator. Okay, let's go. Let's see what happened. Oh, now we have another folder called comparator. Yeah, seems fine, right? Okay, so if you open up and enter this folder, you can see that you have models.py, a views.py, and an apps.py, a tests.py, and a migrations folder, and this file, which don't worry about now. So let's worry about apps.py, and it should be where you define everything that you need, like your app name, but we won't use this as much. Then we have the models, which are important. You'll define all your models or all your data structure inside this file. Then you have tests. Unfortunately, we won't run any unit tests for this or integration tests. That's not on the scope of this project, and we won't use this file. And we have the views. The views are like they transform your data into something that user can see, and usually they return usually not, they return an HTTP response, which can have like embedded HTML or just plain text. But yeah, that's it. So let's view the views. just says create your views here. Not that much. Okay, no problem. So now something that we might do is if we go to our, actually let's open up and just to finish this, what? Okay. All right. Okay, so let's open up this in Sublime Text to make it easier to edit. You can use everything that you want. I'm using Sublime right now. I might use IntelliJ in the future, in future sessions, to have autocomplete, but that's up to you. You can use everything or what you are more familiar with. So there are, you might see that you have URLs here. This is your project level and this is your app level, okay? Project, smartphone comparator, and app comparator. And you have an URL that goes to admin. Let's forget about this for now. And then we might have, okay, I want to access my app, right? So I might say, okay, I want to create a new route called comparator, right? And then I want to redirect to my app, but I don't know how to do it. So you can create another URLs file inside your app. So urls.py. And if you see that, you can, like, if you see here, let me just do something that will make it easier. So this will help you understand. These are the URLs that you have on your application. And you see that you create an empty URL that goes to the views.index, and it just have a name called index. And if you go more up, you can see that you have a views here. And just for the sake of tests, and to demonstrate to you what we are doing here, let's just define a function called index that will build an object called HTTP response and say, hello world. This is what? A sheep cow tutorial. Okay. Now you know that this, when you receive an empty path, it will route you to this view. But remember that you have 3 levels of hierarchy. You have your app, but on top of the app, you have the project. So we need to redirect to our app in the project. So here you can say this. You are basically say, okay, this is not Pulse, this is comparator, and we need to import the include. What this means? Okay, if my project receives a comparator route, it will know that now everything that goes after that, it is responsibility of the comparator app. And it says, okay, if you receive something called comparator, you'll just go for the app. And okay, now we go to URLs and it says, okay, if this is comparator slash nothing, you will show the index page. And that index page will be on the views, which is a view called index. So let's see now and run the application again. Let me see if I have this, manage.py, run server. Okay. Let's see, maybe we imported something wrong. Comparator.urls. So this is fine. That's the bad thing of not having an IDE. So these URLs are good. Django URLs import. Yeah. So the view should be good. Module. Because those errors, if you see, are not that's something that I miss. They are not self-explanatory. But yeah, in this case I'm missing a colon. But you can see that those errors are not really good. Let's see now. Okay, let's go. And now let's go, remember, comparator. So /comparator. Hello world, this is a shipcow tutorial. But if I say, that doesn't exist. Why? Imagine that now you want to add like comparator slash something. You can say this. And now, instead of showing the index, you want to show the something. This is something. So, something. And now, something. Wait, something. So you create a function called something that returns this response. If you register its route. So now, if you can see, it will refresh automatically. If you do slash something, ta-da! Hello world, this is a shipcow tutorial. Actually, you have to create something here because the first rule will have priority, like, I don't know, index. If you do this, now it will, what? Wait. Okay, I should have made something wrong, but I'm not sure what I did wrong. That's weird. That's really weird. Let me put letter a bit. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So this is something, and now maybe that rule wasn't true. Sorry. So let's see. Something, and now tutorial. Okay. Where it should be true is here. It doesn't accept, rejects. Yeah, but you can see the idea. So everything that is /comparator will be redirected to this app. If it has nothing, it will go to this index. If it has something, it will go to the other one. Yeah, that's it. So I just wanted to show this idea and how it worked. So yeah, so for now you should have everything working like I have. Session 1 is complete for now, and wait here and just go to session 2 and you will learn a bit about Django Admin and how to use it as back office to create the smartphone models that are needed to save all the data on SQL database. So just stay here and don't forget that you are learning, and just have patience because everything will turn out well. So let's go and let's end session 1. It was really good to make this session, and I'll see you in session 2. Bye bye.